Chiefs Kingdom, welcome in tonight to a live edition of the AP Film Room. It is just I, the lead analyst at the site, Ron Kopp Jr. I'm doing it solo tonight. We were off last week too, so appreciate y'all staying patient with us through the holiday season. Got the playoff stretch coming, so we're excited to bring you some playoff preview stuff next week as we kind of lead into that wild card game, which we know we are locked into now. Chiefs Kingdom, excited for that. Happened because of the 25-17 win over the Cincinnati Bengals this past weekend. And what I got for you tonight is just a breakdown of what we saw from the offense on Sunday, and honestly, just what I really do believe is going to be the formula for how the Chiefs are going to try to win in the postseason. If you've been listening and following me throughout the season, especially this down stretch, the second half of the season, I've definitely been one saying, look, I don't know if we've got the offensive firepower, the weaponry that we've had in years past to win a Super Bowl. That said, we're in the playoffs now. It's all optimism now. It's all about how this team can go win the Super Bowl. And I think you saw a little bit of exactly how they're going to try to do that on Sunday. So I'm going to start here by talking about the run game, because I am a big proponent now, guys, that Isaiah Pacheco is a key, huge piece of this offense, probably one of the most important players in this offense. When you consider who is behind him in the depth chart, who replaces him, the level of talent that goes down once he is not the running back taking the handoff. And I think you saw Sunday a perfect example of that, because the Chiefs did come out right away and give the Bengals a downhill run game. You saw Pacheco get 9 yards right off the bat, and that was one thing in the Raiders game. They rarely had ever a positive play on first down, right? In this Bengals game, you saw it right away. We're not going to mess around. We're not doing some soft outside zone stuff. We're coming right at you with downhill, down scheme run game. Got one back power. So what's going to happen here is all the O-linemen are down blocking. You're going to have Kelsey over to the right. He's going to do a good job of just base blocking the DN. Jawan Taylor and Trey do a good job of crashing down the line. Tooney's going to wrap on the pull block, lock up with the linebacker. Now, the safety comes in and crashes pretty hard. He actually does a pretty good job there, but he's just not aggressive enough, doesn't make the tackle. Pacheco slips through. But it's just a good example of how when the run game is downhill, when it's called downhill, you can see a little more effectiveness, maybe a 9 yards rather than 4 or 5 yards on the first play. But it wasn't the only time to hit one back power. I want to show you the better one. This went for 37 yards later in the game. And you're going to see it's to the same side. It's the same stuff. So you're going to have Jawan Taylor crashing down, blocking down. Trey's going to help him for a second and then get to that backside linebacker, which he does a great job of sealing right there. Creed's going to seal that nose tackle. Travis does a much better job this one. This is a great rep for him, base blocking that Hubbard, not letting him get past, allowing Pacheco to get through that hole. Tooney does the seal block again. This is the kind of stuff we need to see more from the run game. Just more down blocking, pull blocking. And the other part of this, guys, is that these are not RPOs. These are, went a little back too fast. These are called runs, and you're seeing a block like MVS. That's only happening because it's a run play. It's not a pass option where he could be running a slant, right? They're asking these guys to run plays right away. And so I think that's a big thing here, is that they did simplify the offense on Sunday, and you saw a little bit of how they did it in the run game by not doing the RPOs. Another thing in that is running from under center. Let's stop with these shotgun stuff all the time. You can go under center, Chiefs. I promise you it's okay. And you saw how it can work here, because when they like to do their outside zone stuff, when you're running from shotgun, it's tough for that running back to get to read the defense, because he's running horizontally to the line of scrimmage, parallel to the line of scrimmage. It's tougher for him to read a defense. And it's also tougher for him to get all the way to the cutback lane. When you see it from under center, you're going to see Pacheco, since he's starting out shoulder squared, he's able to kind of read the defense a little better as he's getting the handoff, as the motion's going at first. And so he's able to read the flow of the defense, and he's able to get to the cutback lane, which I think he does a great job here of reading that number 55 here, that front side linebacker. He's overcommitting. He's coming over. So Pacheco has to cut back. That's what he's reading, the cutback. But watch how he gets skinny here and then goes back outside away from the safety, gets up the sideline, and turns this into 35 yards rather than 18, 20 yards. Like, I truly do think no matter how well it's blocked up, guys like Clyde are only going to get that amount of yards on some of these plays. So big point number one here is that the run game is going to be super crucial to the Chiefs playoff run, leaning on it, not just doing this RPO stuff where, you're getting pass options off it. It's not a true run game. Truly using the under center downhill run game, more power, more counter. We didn't see counter in this game, which I think is their best play when Trey's running the counter to the left, not going to kick out block. But here we go. It's also about creating explosive plays, which you saw them do against the Bengals, and to involve Pacheco right off the bat in the opening drive to finish the drive off with the touchdown. This was just great play design, great scheme on Andy Reid's part. You're going to see Pacheco motion over to the right side of the formation. That's going to put 4 receivers to the right side of the Chiefs offense, and that's going to overload the Bengals defense. It's gonna kind of have them going, oh shoot, all these guys, who's picking up who, what. You're going to see that 55 is actually the play side linebacker. He overcommits. He's like, all right, I'm getting out to the flat because that's what they're running. They haven't shown this angle route all year. They haven't shown the Texas route where Pacheco's coming off of that. So I'm just going to overcommit. I'm just going to go for it. And that's exactly what the Chiefs are planning on him doing, because look how out of position he is. Look how much wasted space he is out here once Pacheco makes the cut in. But the other cool part about this play, and you can kind of see from that still shot, right? Look how Rice bring 2 guys with him. Look at Kelsey bring 2 guys with him. You knew Kelsey was going to have the safety attention right with his man coverage defender, but it's amazing that Rice is also getting that kind of attention where that linebacker is obviously going to pick him up, but even that safety is worried about, oh shoot, Rice is probably getting the ball, and that's where, or the corner, excuse me, that's not a safety, that's Cam Taylor-Britt. And so all that to say, great play design by Andy Reid to open the middle of the field up, not only by putting Kelsey and Rice in other places in the field, right, and having defenders go with them, but also really faking this route, because I don't know this for sure, but I believe the reason why 55 is so confident in getting out here is because I don't think the Chiefs have shown Pacheco going back into an angle route out of this look. I think they really have just always had the flat route here out of the quad formation in the red zone. And Logan Wilson's a smart player, so he probably film study. He probably thought he knew what was coming. Boom, he got a touchdown. And so that's the kind of stuff in the postseason that's going to be super important, obviously, right? Is schemed up things we haven't seen the defense do quite yet, or the offense do quite yet against certain defenses. It was great to see the opening drive, especially, right? Just be about scoring, about, the team scoring a touchdown. I know there's sometimes where you hear about an opening drive, maybe feeling out, how the rest of the play is going to go, or the rest of the game is going to go, excuse me. No, it's in the playoffs, especially, now it's about scoring on the opening drive. It's not about feeling out the rest of the game. But here's another play from the opening drive that I enjoyed. It's a slide route from Rashee Rice out of play action. So again, it's playing into the run game. It's playing into Pacheco being a primary part of this offense, right? But what you're going to see is Rice coming to this pre-snap motion. He's going to set up in the slot, right? He's just a slot receiver, but just super tight. And what that allows him to do, and I wish that arrow still wasn't there so you could see him, is come back across the formation like a tight end would. You see Kelsey, Gray, you see an H-back or something run this kind of route, because it's going to turn into a split zone block on the backside of this, where you leave that edge defender here uncovered. He's blocking him. It kind of opens up for the run game. That's a very common run action. But what you're seeing is Rice is not doing that, and Kelsey actually stays in the block, which I think is an important detail of this play, because if you kind of see, Gray releases into a route, but Kelsey stays in, and so that kind of keeps this guy flat-footed. Like, okay, well, Kelsey's not going in a route. Who else is going to even be coming into this area? Oh shoot, Rice is coming all the way across the formation. That's, again, great scheme, a great way to get Rice the ball. And so I think they need to continue to get Rice the ball in creative ways, because obviously he's just such an explosive player after the catch. And I have another example to show that from the game, because we saw this particular play, this particular play in the Raiders game before. This was one that actually fell to the ground. If y'all remember, it was a quick slant from the slot between zone defenders. Rice and Mahomes kind of had a miscommunication. After the play, Mahomes said, "Put your hands up." Well, guess what Rice does on this one? Look where his hands are. They're up. And he sits super well into the zone, right between the zone defenders. Once Hilton clears him, This is key here, is that Rice is sitting so quickly because he is taught that once Hilton clears him and he becomes that flat defender, he needs to be as tight as possible to him because he can't run too far into this middle linebacker right here. And so just great communication, or great route running, I should just say, on Rice's part, to sit right there. And just obviously we all have seen just how explosive he is up the field. Love that from him. Gains 26 there, or 24. This is a 67-yarder, though. And, although it was very encouraging that we got a downfield throw from him to Rice, it wasn't necessarily planned, right? And I want to make sure I show this because I think, it's just important for people to understand that, this really was just kind of an on the fly, play by Mahomes and Rice to be alert and to take advantage of the fact that, watch the safety right here, right? He is going to be kind of coming like he's playing this one high look, and then he just shades over the top this way. Well, here's the thing. It's clear that the Bengals are trying to do a too high look, because you see 22 also drop back into the deep half over here. It looks like 23 just kind of got confused, thought he was the too high over here. It leaves literally no one covering the deep half on this side of the field. And Rice and Mahomes both talked about it post-game that they recognize that, and that's why you see Rice just release vertical, and that's why you see Mahomes just put it on him. Great play, great recognition by both of them. That's the kind of stuff they need to do in the postseason. Take advantage of defenses when they do give you those opportunities, because defenses will share them. And so it is one of those things where they just need to continue when the defense presents big pass opportunities. It cannot fall to the ground like it has so many times this year. And this is a great example of that, is that the Bengals were giving them one high looks throughout the night. The Bengals, and they are not the only team, right? We have seen this Chiefs offense get dared to throw down the field with one high looks, with defenses bringing that second safety up closer to the line of scrimmage to take away Travis Kelce, and that's what you see on this play too. But they didn't even disguise it here. This is a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, I think, and they're just straight up one high. They're gonna have look at there's 5 defenders right off the line of scrimmage waiting to pick up guys that are going to be running right at the sticks, right? Kind of maybe, running a route just to get to the sticks. Kelce actually gets illegally contacted here with. That's how physical they were with him here. And so the flag actually gets thrown here. Would have made this a positive play either way. But just look how much underneath there is, because even Gray has this guy over here, who obviously now that he sees there's not a threat coming to his side, he's backing out. But they had bodies to catch anything coming at the sticks. And when defenses do that, you need someone to take advantage. And that's what Justin Watson does with an excellent route. And that's the thing, guys. Justin Watson, when he has his negative plays, to me, it's more about how the Chiefs maybe force him into too many roles, too many things, because he seems to be the only receiver Mahomes trusts to throw to, right? And so we need to understand that Justin Watson is a good receiver at downfield routes. In my opinion, he's better than MVS. He's the best downfield route runner on this team. And this is a great example of that, because you're going to see him look at that, showing that head, showing his face right there, showing the head fake at the beginning of this route. What that does is that makes that safety think, okay, he's probably running an over route. I need to get over there and close that out, because there is space over here for him to get completed there. All that does is just create a little bit of separation for him once he cuts it back to the corner. There's so much more room to work with here. Mahomes could throw this a little more imperfectly. And you know what? Actually, I don't have actually maybe the end zone angle will show it, but Justin Watson doesn't catch this cleanly. If he doesn't make that great adjustment on the top of his route to really make that safety go over to the other side of the field, this might get knocked out because he doesn't catch it cleanly. 27 just is so laid over there because Justin Watson sets him up very well with the route. So really just a good rep here, and just an example of Justin Watson being the best downfield route runner, and someone that he needs to get at least 1 or 2 explosive plays a game. I shouldn't say need. It'd be nice to see 1 or 2 explosive plays a game from just at least one a game in the postseason. That is really going to, I think, set the tone for the offense. It's going to help, things loosen up for the rest of the offense if they are able to connect on some vertical stuff. And so, yeah, that's Justin Watson's. That is that. And my last clip, I don't see where it is. I don't see my last clip, fellas. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Wow. Okay. Well, I don't have my last clip for whatever reason that I was going to show of Mahomes being conservative on in the red zone, but I can just talk about that real quick because I do think you saw the Chiefs not finish in the red zone at times, and that's not a good thing, right? We need to see finished drives in the postseason. But I do think what you saw, the theme of those red zone drives, or just the drives that ended in field goals in general, not even the ones that advanced into the red zone, were Mahomes playing maybe conservative, not forcing throws into the end zone, not forcing tight window throws. And yes, that's an indictment on the receivers, maybe not giving him the confidence to make some of those throws. But I do think with the postseason, with the defense playing the way it is, if the run game can get you, time of possession can get you close to the red zone. There are times maybe where, hey, it might be better to settle for the field goal and not force an interception, right, in the wrong spot, or just in general. It doesn't have to be even in the red zone. Just Mahomes maybe playing more conservatively. It's why you saw Pacheco get 7 catches in this game, a career high, because he was checked out. He was Mr. Checkdown on Sunday. Mahomes was, and it ended in 6 field goals, 18 points. Maybe 2 of those are forced throws, and he throws interceptions, and then all of a sudden, boom, the Chiefs are in a tight game and they don't win that game because maybe he was a little too aggressive in those situations. So I think there's something to be taken from that you could see this Chiefs offense play into the fact that they are playing, with a really good defense, and that is going to be their best bet at winning a Super Bowl this year, is leaning on that defense and letting the offense, maybe just run through the run game, a more focused run game, and letting the explosives come to them, not really forcing explosives down the field. You saw in this Bengals game, they were able to kind of let the explosives come to them. It was good to see. It was a good performance. And again, I think it's the formula. And it was the last time we're going to see the Chiefs offense, in full swing before the postseason. Obviously, we got Blaine Gabbert starting in Week 18. So I'm wrapping up here. Shorter show, obviously, with just me, but I appreciate y'all listening to me ramble and break down the X's and O's. I'm going to shout out Daniel Berry. Got to shout out Raw Owens. They said, yes, Chiefs need to run under center more. First Super Bowl, we ran under center a lot. Great point. And I do think Pacheco is probably the best under center running back they've had in the Super Bowl run. So there you go. Kyle Coffey, love the Texas route here on that red zone play, but the Pacheco touchdown. Yes, I do think that's something that they haven't shown as much this year. Pacheco or Clyde could do that. Clyde is very good at those angle routes as well, setting up linebackers. So I think that's something you could definitely see more of in the postseason. Stefano willing to positively change the lives of, and then Samuel Barber said, yeah. So shout out y'all. Appreciate y'all, coming on the show. John Thornton saying great breakdown. Rice is looking much improved from the start of the season. Yes, absolutely. And that's going to be a huge thing in the postseason. Rice continuing to be this team's number 1 receiver. So we're excited for that. We're excited for a postseason run. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to my rambles. We'll be back next week. Nate and Caleb will be joining me to preview the playoffs. We'll know who we're playing next week. It could be one of 5 teams. So definitely make sure you tune in for that. We'll be breaking down the X's and O's from throughout the season, from maybe the opponent. But either way, we're going to be getting you ready for the postseason. So appreciate you joining. Appreciate you listening, watching tonight, and we'll catch you then.